Hey everybody, Peter with ConversantLife.com. Thanks for tuning in. I got the privilege today to sit down with Mike Erre, who is the teaching pastor at Rock Harbor Church in Costa Mesa, California, as well as the author of his new book, Why Guys Need God. And Mike, let's talk about why guys need God. You're a pastor, you've certainly mentored men and pastored men. Why is there a need for this book, Why Guys Need God?
The book was really born out of my own journey in the sense that I'm a 30-something and they're in kind of men's books. You have the Promise Keepers emphasis of the 90s, and you know, it was the Man in the Mirror and Tender Warrior, and then you know, just recently we've got a whole new generation of guys writing books. But it felt like there was a kind of a missing piece in all of that. And one of the things that I had wanted myself is a theology of masculinity that allowed for the fullness of what it means to be masculine. If you take like John Eldridge's Wild at Heart, it's a great book, but he talks about having an adventure to live and a beauty to win. And it, you know, as I've been talking to guys, that doesn't speak to all of them. There just has to be, well, what happens if I'm not living an adventure? I'm a mortgage broker in a cruddy housing market. What do I do then? Or what if I've already won the beauty and want to win another one? You know, I mean, it left some questions unanswered that this book tried to fill in.
So Mike, take me through Why Guys Need God. What is the book all about?
The book really is broken into 3 sections. I have a theology that, you know, obviously I think is very biblical, that goes from creation, fall, ultimately to redemption. And so much of the Christian story as it relates to masculinity is based in the fall. It's like, well, now that we're in a fallen world, what does it mean to find meaning, truth, significance? And I think often the first 2 chapters in Genesis, are ignored to the place where a lot of the commands in the New Testament regarding masculinity just don't make sense. So we take this grid, creation, fall, redemption, and we look at masculinity from 3 different perspectives. We look at a section is called In the Field, and it's the idea of work. So what did God intend for work? How has even that part of us fallen? And then how does Jesus redeem that? And then we look at sexuality. In the bedroom is the name of the section. And it's the same thing. What did God intend? How's that been twisted in the fall? And how does Jesus redeem us? And again, the one of the undercurrents of the book is the idea that it doesn't matter whether you're a hunter or you're an artist or you're a musician, or it doesn't matter. One of the things I really wanted to try to do was to not reinforce subtly or overtly any of the stereotypes that are out there about what it is to be a guy. It's not John Wayne, it's not Johnny Depp, it's not Bruce Springsteen. I mean, it's just there's a whole range of diverse masculinity out there that God created. The 3rd section I call In the Arena, and it's about how guys have this network of relationships, band of brothers, and we look at the idea of, okay, what does that really mean to be in community? It's a word tossed around a lot. We look at of what it is to be a husband, and even if you're not a husband, you know, there are all sorts of things tied to that matter wherever it is that you are. And the idea of father, the chapter title is Fatherhood, Biological or Otherwise, meaning there's always somebody that you're influencing. What does that mean? And ultimately, the hope of that section is to bring people to the place where they recognize, no matter where they are as a man, that there are things that they can enter into that allow that masculinity to flourish that God had intended from the beginning.
So I don't mean to be presumptuous or throw out a really lame question, but why do guys need God?
Oh, I think it's a good question, and I like in the title of the book, what we're trying to get at is the idea that. And I can best contrast it with femininity. You don't go into bookstores and have tons of books on what does it mean to be a woman. I mean, there's just kind of an innate, even cultural idea of what that is. Masculinity, on the other hand, we're just a mess. There are all these different movements. There are all these different authors and ways in which we're trying to find what authentic manhood means. And ultimately, I don't think it's the media. I don't think it's women. I don't think it's Hollywood. I ultimately think that God is the one who set men up to wrestle with this question, and that the question itself is part of their masculine journey. Meaning that if you study, for instance, how it is that God spoke to Adam in Genesis 3 in the curses, when he curses the serpent, he curses the ground, he curses the woman, and he curses the man. And there's this sense that what God does there is so profound, it provokes this question, and that he's done that to us as an act of mercy to ultimately to drive us back to himself.
Well, Mike, thanks for being with us. Why Guys Need God is an amazing book. Go pick up a copy. It is truly, truly brilliant. And if you want to check out Mike on a weekly basis, daily basis, he's blogging on conversionlife.com. Go to our blog roll and you can find him there.